It's up. Oh, that's really not who I expected at all.
It would be my greatest joy if what I have learned as queen may be put to use.
This is bullshit. She's just gonna be a better Micaiah. I'm upset about it. She's a colorless tome infantry. God damn it. Even her tome is radiant. She's just a ripoff of Micaiah. I knew it. It does kind of just look like normal Guinevere with a crown on. That is not a terrible point.
I will be my people's shield.
It's still neat though. I don't know what we're supposed to be seeing here. Looks like she's got damage reduction. Yep.
For burn.
Big damage reduction. And she's a water legendary that grants defense. So she'll be, this is actually a really good banner for colorless too. You got Asker and Fomortis there. So actually pretty high value, I would say. Red's also pretty good. Blue, not so much. And that's basically that. I do like Guinevere's artist, and it looks like they had the same artist do her legendary alt. Yeah, Guinevere is definitely not a character I would expect to get a legendary alt. I would have just said that she was never gonna get, like, any kind of non-seasonal alt. I think, because I thought getting her in the first place was kind of a stretch. I don't know about a stretch, but... Well, she's getting Hathor's getting rerun because they always do that for the midpoint mythic. They did it for Note. But yeah, really wouldn't have guessed Guinevere. Would have been my last guess. You know, she may perhaps be better than Micaiah, but at least Micaiah's, what do you even call this? Her robe, her cape? Micaiah's cape looks much cooler, I'm just saying. I mean, her art looks good. It's just quite similar to how she already looked. Another colorless legendary that isn't a staff. Honestly, a good point. I wonder if we're ever gonna get a legendary staff unit. Let's take a look at Guinevere. Radiant. I was never sure how to pronounce this. Aureola. A start special trigger. Effective against magic foes. The foe initiates combat or foe's HP. Grade 75. Grants block +5 to unit. Deals damage equal 20% of units res. Reduces damage from foes' attacks by 20% of units res. Inflicts special cooldown charge -1 on foe per attack. And disables foes' effects that grant adaptive damage. It's alright. I think she gets true damage reduction from res, which is really good. That's the kind of effect that Micaiah would get if her legendary alt came out now and not a year and a half ago. the true damage reduction from res. Speed res finish 4. I don't know, I feel like in practice you're probably going to want like attack res finish or attack speed finish. Attack is everything, although I guess she gets effective damage anyway. This is a word salad. To me, the only thing that I understood was built-in Mystic Boost. Yeah. Well, I would say these are pretty boring effects overall. Like these are, like these are the bare minimum effects. She doesn't have anything. I guess what sets her apart is the effective damage on all tomes, which in practice is going to be really good. So that's fair. It's like effective damage plus true damage from her res. So in practice, she'll probably be pretty good. Null Sea Disrupt 4 is potentially interesting. Inflicts attack speed -4 on foe, neutralizes effects that prevent units' counterattacks, and reduces damage from foe's first attack by 30% during combat. So, just sprinkling on the 30% damage reduction that other tier 4B slots have been getting, like Guard, and attack speed -4. At least Micaiah gets a remix. No, her remix, so Legendary Micaiah's remix will be way before that, I'm pretty sure. I think it's like maybe the end of next year. Because if Crom and Bramimond are next, Micaiah came out, I think, a year and a half after those two. A little less than a year and a half. I think that checks out. It's hard not to compare her to Micaiah. No, they wouldn't buff Maiden Solace. They would buff Prescience for sure. I would be upset if they didn't, honestly. Prescience is just not that good. When it came out, it was like average. So of course by now it's like fallen off. Like tier 4 B slot skills like this compete with Prescience, I would say, at this point. Burns New Way. Restores 7 HP to allies within 3 spaces of unit after combat. So that's her combat? Okay. If unit is within 3 spaces of an ally, grants bluff plus 5 to unit during combat. Grants special cooldown charge plus 1 to unit per attack. And restores 7 HP to unit after combat. Rip to Burns Old Way. This C slot has a bunch of effects that I just wouldn't expect to see on a C slot. Usually you get like movement or something. Like when I was reading her perf, I was thinking like, yeah, she's good, but all the new legendaries, and not all the new legendaries, some of the new legendaries get some kind of movement shenanigans. Like Yuri, and then I guess Shaz got it as well, just through an inheritable skill. But I mean, these effects are good. It's more stats. The healing after combat is not going to be that helpful, I feel like. That's just Breath of Life. Breath of Life with more range. If they wanted to make her like kind of a support unit, they could give her the effect that Silk got, where it's like your allies get healing after their combat if Guinevere is within 3 spaces. But I don't think that's what this is. She also gets Heavy Blade, which is pretty good. So she's going to activate a bunch of icebergs, I guess. Great matchup against the Titanic. Thoughts on the Grimace? I don't get the trend. I thought the Grimace Shake was around for a while, but now it's like the past 24 hours, suddenly everyone's talking about the Grimace Shake. It's just a purple shake, right? I got the Clover Shake at McDonald's, and it was disgusting. Okay, it wasn't disgusting, it was just not very good. It was like mint flavored, which is not what I wanted. It was green, so I should have known, but this legendary is way less cool than Hinoka. I would be inclined to agree. Like, using Hinoka is fun. Hinoka, she moves 3 spaces, she explodes someone, and then she Kantos away 1 space. The Kanto 1 is, like, more limiting in practice than I thought it would be. Like, I can't go in that frequently with Hinoka, with her Kanto 1, but it's still fun. Guinevere, you have to be really careful playing with Guinevere because, like, she has no Kanto. That's basically the reason. So yeah, that's Guinevere. I'm sure she'll be good. I think the effective damage against mages is going to be her main selling point. I don't see people really spending a bunch of orbs for her. Like I don't perceive Guinevere to be a fan favorite in the same way that the other legendary heroes are, but maybe that's just me. Like I know Guinevere is somewhat popular. She has her fans, but I don't know. Are there any super meta mages right now that need countering? Asker. Duo Asker is a menace. I hate him. So if Guinevere has a good matchup against Asker, then that's valid. And she probably does, because she has effective damage. Like, the rare bulky mage, like Asker, is actually pretty annoying. So if Guinevere can kill him, then good for her. Real quick, who expected Guinevere to get a legendary before Alencia? Like, Guinevere and Alencia, they play similar roles in their stories, except Alencia actually does fight with you toward the end. But no legendary Alencia.
For burn.
It's fine, I'm not mad. I mean, if you're a Guinevere fan, you're popping the frick off right now, because this is probably not something you ever thought would happen. Let's look at the banner. Yeah, so colorless. Colorless is probably the best. The newest and shiniest legendary is always pretty valuable. And then you have like Asker for potential light merges, and also Fomortis for animum merges. Although I guess defense merges are less valuable compared to offense mythic merges. But it's still nice. Red is next, the most valuable with Allier, Yuri, and Veronica. I think Yuri and Veronica are both wind, which is kind of a bummer if you're trying to, like, you know, get more than one element. She is going to be the bonus hero for next month. I wonder what the matchup is like between Guinevere and Micaiah. There's an upsetting thought. Red's pretty valuable. Just a bummer you have like 2 wind guys color sharing. Blue is a little cringe. Ular is potential light merges, but then that implies that you have to use Ular in every match if you merge her, which you don't want to do, typically. There are like very few people that I see that actually use Ular when she's not a bonus. And then Joffrey. Oh yeah, Blue is actually pretty. Well, okay, Chloe is a decent unit and she has good skill fodder, but like on this banner. And then Joffrey speaks for himself. Green is better. You got Hather, who's new. Xander, who I would say is still pretty good. We fought Xander the other day on stream. He has like 1,000,000 damage reduction. He's pretty annoying. Yeah, so I would say colorless, then red, then green, then blue. I don't think I'll be pulling on this. There are a couple things here that could potentially appeal to me. Having Joffrey would be neat, just because I don't have him yet, but it's not urgent. Pulling on colorless, like having the new bonus legendary is always nice, but I can't do that every time, otherwise I won't have orbs to, to save. And then that's basically it. All right. I don't know what the subreddit is going to be mad about. I'm going to guess that the salt thread has more comments than the hype thread, not because there's a ton of salt comments, but like I just can't imagine there are that many hype comments. They're mad because it could have been male Corrin. That is a possibility, although we did just get Hinoka, so I don't think anybody was seriously expecting Corrin. Maybe they're just mad that it's not like another unit. Not even salty, just disappointed. This is Guinevere 2, like how Yuri was Yuri 2. I feel like the difference is that Yuri 1 was still pretty good. Guinevere 1 is pretty bad by today's standards, right? Also, Guinevere 1 is older. Is Null Counter Disrupt really that much of a meme? Like, I still think it's a pretty good skill. There's like the most middle of the road, least hype character. I don't think anybody has strong feelings about her. Yeah, it's like, I'm almost inclined towards being excited because it's like, oh, I didn't expect her to get a legendary, but then also like, I just don't care that much about her. Guinevere, she doesn't... does she even do that much in FE6? I know, like, yes, she does. But also, like, how much actually? It's been a while since I played FE6. She's one. Yeah, exactly. Like, that's kind of my outlook on it. It's like, sure, she's more plot relevant than Lilina, but like, people remember Lilina better because, I mean, for whatever reason, like you can actually use her for one. Yeah, she's more plot relevant, so that's valid. But like, who? I don't know. I don't want to say who remembers Guinevere, but like that's kind of the essence of what I'm saying. I think she would have been a great candidate for an Ascended, except like they already it just would have felt especially redundant then with the original Guinevere. Okay, well, last thing from the salt thread. I was thinking about this situation with Legendary Camilla, and like I actually don't think we'll get Legendary Camilla, just because we got Hinoka. Because like at least with Hinoka and Leo, those are like canon endings for them in the opposing routes, right? But they already did Queen Camilla on like for the Brave Vault, and that was like non-canon. So I'm actually not expecting Legendary Camilla anytime soon. And even if they do it, it would be like it would have to be based on like the Conquest ending, where she doesn't become queen or anything. Yeah, Legendary Leo, I totally expect. I think Leo will happen sooner rather. I don't know about sooner than later, but I think Leo will happen eventually. I forgot about Legendary Fae. I just legit forgot that Legendary Fae was in the game. So this is actually our 4th FE6 Legendary, which I wouldn't have expected. Because FE6, as we have said, doesn't have that many characters that are important to the story. Dire Brynhildr. There we go. I'm happy for the Guinevere people. That's my final statement on the matter. So yeah, man, I guess that's it. This was a fun reaction, but kind of a low-key one. Next Fae stream, I think will be just the weekly gameplay stream this weekend. So stay tuned for that. Follow on Twitch, join the Discord to stay up to date, subscribe on YouTube at Lupusaurus2. And then the next banner trailer we react to will be Summer 2, which may or may not have Engage. We don't know. A lot to look forward to, but only if you're following me on Twitch. So do that. I'm going to head out, folks. Thanks so much for hanging out, Joker and Ignisol. I appreciate it. Otherwise, I would have been literally alone reacting to this character that I'm not that excited about, so thank you. Yo, do I have YouTube frogs? Oh, I actually do. I have a lot of YouTube frogs. The reactions usually get like 100 views. So to all YouTube frogs, definitely come to Twitch.